Fire in the Sun is a 1989 novel by George Alec Effinger and book 2 in the Marid Audran series. This one starts with Marid and Saeed traveling to Algiers to look for a woman named Angel Monroe. Angel Monroe. She has a connection to Marid somehow. They con some people on the way, but it's fine because they're conning cons. Marid is now wired, and he says, "Look, for a long time I was terrified of getting wired, but now I don't know how I ever got along without it." Of course, this has the first-person narration of his as before. The story is dark and gritty as before. It is cyberpunk. Marid continues to be alienated after the events of the last book, which took place less than a year ago. He now works for Friedlander Bay as a sort of personal cop for the de facto ruler of the city. His only friends that talk to him are Saeed and Chiri, who runs a club full of girls. Chiri is an interesting lady, from a certain part of Africa with sharpened teeth. Anyways, but the story itself gets us into the Budayin as before, and we have new characters like Muzu, a Christian African slave, and also Shaknai, a cop forced to work with Marid because of one of Papa's rivals, plus a woman that claims to be Bey's daughter, plus also Marid's mom. Marid is snarky in his narration and not perfect by any means. Here are a few examples of the biases, actually, as a couple quotes. "The world doesn't need an overpopulated, starving, Spanish-speaking India in the Western Hemisphere. Spain, their mother country, tried Islam and said a polite no thank you, and their national character sublimed right off into nothingness. That's Allah punishing them." And then we have, "I saw that if I expected to have any peace, I was going to have to murder this man, and soon." We also have some interesting sense of humor, though, generally Islam abounds, though many aren't faithful to all the tenets, including Marid. The in-world is also around, just heads up. It showcases the very dark reality of humanity, ideas of necessity versus choice, and holy versus profane, and it's very entertaining, especially as Marid is, again, alienated. But we also get his connections to, in a sense, the corporate world, right, the people in charge, right, even though that's not quite the guy that has the title governor or whatever. The whole story is a mystery like the last, and doom builds throughout. We have simulation, we have personality modifications, murder, etc. Bonus word, actually, of philology was used. I mark that every time it comes up in a story. The story is a tangle, but one that needs straightened out by Marid. I really appreciate how Audran doesn't just resort to shooting everyone, right? And he's not like insanely tough either. He just he doesn't even shoot the bad guys whenever either, like in action movies they would or something. And there was an interesting thing, actually, that I think it was just a smaller mark in some sense, but an important one for cyberpunk especially, and I think maybe in our day and age. But don't put your faith in truth that is electronic only. Anyways, Liam from Liam's Lyceum. I'll catch you next time.